easy to make something. Even easier when it's just like the thing before it, and the one before that. But like all good things, this one starts from scratch. No notes, no blueprints, no map to find our way back. We're rethinking everything, from what we make and how we make it, to what goes in and what goes out. A giant reset button for all things innovation. And so we go, confident that what's in reach isn't worth reaching for. We know, because we tried reaching a little further and came up with nothing.
He was busy with the bar, right?
You have to tell everyone. Tell them that it was quite embarrassing.
What? Why should I be sitting here and you in the front? Okay, maybe I should sit. Like a large engineering focus. You know, we have been working together for many years now, and in some ways I think we have developed our own process, philosophy and ideas and systems, and I think that's what's most exciting to us, is bringing all of that into the nothing world and then diving even further.
Nothing else?
Actually, I think I want to write that so I get it right. Actually, the first product's almost done.
Yeah.
So, see you.
Would you like to see the device?
I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
Are you going to let me see it? Well, here we go. What if I don't like it?
Just be honest.
I mean, right. Well, this is an unexpected surprise. Well, what a privilege. So now I'm in the circle of trust, right?
You might have followed the whole startup story of this new company founded by Carl Pei.
For this guy to then leave OnePlus and start a new company in the same lane, he must be sure that he can make something even better.
Good morning. How you doing, guys? Exciting time. The clock's ticking now. Carl's pushed the button, right? Back in the 90s, when I started in the mobile phone industry, I was at Vodafone. So I started just a small personal collection of mobile phones. And this went on for years and years and years. And it was basically around 2007 when Steve Jobs walked on stage and pulled the iPhone out of his pocket, and it was just a slab. All of that time through there was just this explosion of creativity. And we've got awesome collection, over 5,000 devices in total and growing. So if you look at a number of these different devices, these are Japanese devices, and the N-Gage was really interesting because
People were taking pictures of like Cornish pasties.
oh yeah, look, there you go. That's a bit of luck. This is what I think might be one of the first ever translucent phones. This is the Bosch 509E. I have to say I do have a real soft spot for the Nokia Communicator, which is this product here. When you opened it, there was a computer inside. Phones have become so boring. I followed Carl's career. It's arguably the most challenging time I have ever seen to bring a new product to market. It is so hard to have something that stands out. So the first thing is, I hope it has a really distinctive design. But the other thing, of course, is always materials. Can you use recycled materials? I mean, there's no question at all. What Nothing are doing is really, really hard. You couldn't find any reason to persuade me to create and launch a phone. You could argue Nothing have got one shot at this. And it's so tough because the speed with which they're bringing the product to market is astonishing, but it has to work. There's no margin of error, I don't think. So what have we got here? We've got a phone which is, beautiful. It's actually on. Lovely screen, lovely feel, aluminium surround, Wireless charging, by the looks of it. Some nice branding. Wow, let's have a look at the UI. Yeah, it feels lovely in the hand. Very nice. Oh, there we go, glyphs on. Right, okay. Glyph interface. It'll be one of those things that's quite iconic across a room. So you'll actually know what the phone is. In the 1990s, I could tell what phone someone was using from when it rang, and not just the individual phone, but almost the model. Oh, that's nice. Wow.
Today I am in Nanjing, China, visiting a aluminum recycling facility, and it's been an interesting journey for sure. A lot of things are happening, there's a million different moving parts, and teams are constantly solving new problems every day. Here we have like different types of recycled aluminum that will go into one of the furnaces and get molten down and recast into something that we can use to make the phone one. Based on how curled up this is, it's definitely recycled. And based on the marks on this piece, it's probably from a construction site. And then back here we have piles and piles of ingots. So you just see a lot of the ingots all neatly piled together in little stacks. We're watching a giant temper pushes the aluminum into the furnace. And it's really hot and toasty around here. Like, I wish I brought marshmallows. The temperature gets as hot as 750 degrees Celsius, and then additional metals will be added to make sure that the aluminum is as pure as it gets. So that was really hot. Thank goodness they shut the door behind me, and now everything is finally cooling down a little bit. Once everything is nice and molten, it will get poured into casts that will turn the liquid aluminum into solid billets. I won't be able to go inside because it's really dangerous, so I'm just, hovering around this perimeter. A lot of action is happening at the bottom where the billets are actually being formed. That takes us one step closer from scrap aluminum to a part in the phone one. The molten aluminum will be coming out from the center and going into really deep wells, and then the water will cool everything down for it to solidify. So here's where the water is cooling the aluminum that's formed into a billet. For us to see the final product, we have to wait another 5 hours, and nobody has time for that. So I'll take you to the next stop where they cut this billet up into more manageable pieces. These are the billets that came from the casting station. What they're doing right now is trimming the ends off for further processing. Hey Chong, come help explain this.
Hi everyone. So those are the billets we just saw. We will go into this cutting machine where they become even smaller pieces.
After all the furnaces and trimming, this is where the billets end up to get trimmed into even smaller pieces. And this is where they also become closer to becoming part of the phone one. I think it's really eye-opening to see how something as tiny as a mid-frame gets made through all the different processes. And by doing this, we are reducing over 90% of the carbon footprint than if we were to use all primary aluminum material.
I'm just chiming in here. Can you bring us up to speed as to why we're doing the invite system again?
No, what's important is that the people from the community get it first. Doesn't mean they can be the only one, but they need to get it first. And once the people who've been with us since the beginning are happy, then we are more than happy to open wider. I think is the most important thing.
Yeah, we need to think about how we can also make it available afterwards for the rest.
We could either wait until we've accumulated a lot of phones and start the sales then, or we can start selling as soon as possible. We chose the latter one because we wanted to at least have some of these products in the hands of people, because some people have been literally waiting for a year. I think what we saw with the Ear 1 was that when we launched, the demand was like super big, and for a period of time we were only able to sell the product once a week. You came onto our website, you logged in, and it sold out immediately. So we didn't really want to do that again this time. Instead, we wanted to start with an invite system so the people who deserve it the most are able to buy in the beginning. And then as we produce more and more, as production ramps up, we can open it up for more and more people to purchase.
After some hours, then I was laying in the bed. I came back. You will see things which are transformed. It's a different view, a different experience of our existence. Have very vivid light experiences. Sometimes I went into lights that are brighter than the sun, and I see patterns in dirt, you know, in trees, and I say, oh boy, this stuff is really, really something else. I never knew anything like this in the whole of my life. Well, mind, there are the colors and the beauty, the designs, the beautiful way things appear. People themselves, people that I thought appears fascinating, interesting, mysterious, wonderful.
Buy drinks for the three of us. What do you want? Water.
Get us something Japanese.
Thank you.
Oh, no, he said thank you.
Something very Japanese. It's a yogurt drink. It's good. I think it's been a great launch. This was probably also the most talked about tech launch in the last couple of years as well. What we're seeing is that all across the world, we're converting a lot more iPhone users than every other Android brand. So our thesis that people want to see an alternative to Apple is beginning to come true. Yeah, it's been a whirlwind after the launch. I've been traveling a lot. I've been to India, I've been to Germany, now I'm here in Japan. The India trip was packed with 3 different cities, meeting our community. So our team is in Japan to really understand the market. I think when you're just reading about it on Google, on Wikipedia, it's very different from being here on the ground. Japan is definitely a market where they can really appreciate design. Like, just look at how people are dressed. There's definitely that market here.
Looking forward to being home for a bit.
Home, where's home? I'm staying in a fixed apartment in London. It took a bit of time to get it, but before that I was sleeping on my friend's floor, on the mezzanine, during the hottest year of London summer, without AC.
God, that's all my questions, man. Do you have anything else to add?
Let's make tech fun again.
Comes across as sophisticated and respectful to the user.
A really solid user experience and a really distinctive design. So what's next?
I never knew anything like this in the whole of my life.
Hi, I'm here to see Virpil.
What's good? The sneakers.
Have you done anything new on Web3?
We've been just following up a lot with our community. So we released our NFT, did the metaverse, and then we've been doing like the Coachella show. When I saw you, we did the 3D printed sneaker that comes with the NFT, and after that, yeah, we've been just doing a lot of activities.
Yeah, so we're launching these products in Japan. Do you have any advice for us? This is what we call the ear stick.
Yeah.
So inspired by a lipstick. What? I thought we were just gonna do a video.
Well, bro, everyone's been enjoying your YouTube so much. We just thought, let's make you a YouTuber.
MKBHD. Camera looks very familiar. Oh yeah, damn. There's a logo. Wow, you guys have put a lot of effort into this. I didn't know what you guys were doing every day. I just saw all the vacation requests. Wow, you even got the iCarl, like, and then you got her little Macintosh computers.
You're sending it to him?
Yeah.
Okay, Carl, and if I can get you to come sit down for me, please.
I gotta learn how to be MKBHD. Hey, what is up, guys? This is
Carl.
CKBHD. Looks funny.
So he used to bang this.
What is up, guys? Carl here. Today we're talking Ear 2.
That's good. Let's do Mr. Who's the Boss. Record. Drop. Drop. You got this, man. We'll get there. Okay. Bro, you're destined for this, fam.
This is our third audio product, and we've been working hard on the sound, features, and design. And we're really proud of it.
Okay, perfect. Next is Jerry Reed. We don't really want you to do like a sexy voice, but just get real close to the mic and do like a kind of ASMR thing for us.
Okay, let me try. With us here is the Nothing Ear 2. A year in the making. Let's see what our team has been up to. First of all, we worked very hard on the sound quality.
You know what, Carl? We're good, man. We can leave it for the sexy voice.
चलिए शुरू करते हैं. ये हमारा third audio product है और इसमें काफी सारे नए features है. My Hindi is a bit rusty. Should we just move on?
Yeah, we can move on, man. Next is iJustine.
When are we going to talk about the product?
Yeah, we can talk about the product now. You ready to talk about it now?
Yeah. Should we also shoot some B-roll on the product?
What, and just put it on the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, let's do it. Cool. So what's Ear 2 saying then, man?
Yeah, the product. Where do we start? The Nothing Ear 1 always has a special place in our hearts. It's our first product, and a lot of our consumers love it. But over the past year, a lot has changed here at Nothing. Our engineering team has gotten a lot stronger, and also because of the success of the Ear 1, we've gotten a lot more suppliers wanting to work with us. We can now work with the best in the world. And in addition to that, the technology world is changing around us. There's a lot more new technologies today that we can leverage to build products. So we felt it was the right time to develop the second generation, the Nothing Ear 2. Sound quality has been one of the main focus areas for us when it comes to the Nothing Ear 2, and we're really proud about the results. We've done a couple of things. First, instead of using an off-the-shelf driver, we've now made our own custom driver that has thicker and more flexible materials, allowing us to deliver better bass. Ear 2 also supports LHDC 5.0. That's also what enables us to support high-res audio. Our team has done a lot of work on the audio for the Ear 2, and I can't wait to hear the feedback from our community. Another thing that's really important to us is iconic design, to create a family of products that immediately, even when not seeing the Nothing logo, you know it's from the same brand. So that's exactly what we've done with the Ear 2. One of the main feedbacks we got for the Ear 1 case was that it was nice, but a little bit too big. So that's what we focused on solving. It keeps the design we love, but is smaller, lighter, and has better battery life.
So Carl, I'm reading here, noise cancelling is 40 dB.
Yeah, when it comes to noise cancellation for audio products, don't just look at the amount of dB. Yes, the Nothing Ear 2 has 40 dB noise cancellation, but a lot of really cheap and crappy wireless earphones also have 40 dB. The amount of decibels cancelled does not equal better sound quality or a more serene experience.
So how exactly is it better then?
Well, we've done a couple of things. For one, the bandwidth for noise cancellation is now 5,000 Hertz, and this is about 2.5 times higher than the Nothing Ear 1. What this means is that the noise cancellation captures a lot more frequency when it comes to audio, so the edge cases in terms of noise can also get cancelled. We've also developed something that we call personalized sound, because everybody's hearing is different. So the Ear 2 actually adapts to your individual hearing, the shape of your ears, and also the sounds in your environment for that optimal noise cancellation experience. One of my favorite features on the Nothing Ear 2 is the dual connection feature. It's kind of annoying with wireless earbuds where you're connected to one device and it's not that easy to switch between devices. So with the Ear 2, you can actually connect it to two devices, for example, your phone and your laptop at the same time, and it will intelligently switch between them depending on where the sound is coming from. So imagine you're listening to music on your laptop and somebody calls you, Ear 2 will automatically switch to your phone. Super convenient.
Okay, Carl, what else?
I mean, there's a ton of specs, but you know, keynotes today, they're kind of boring, so I don't want to talk about specs. I don't think specs are what makes a good product. But for the spec warriors out there who really care, here, let's put them up for you.
Okay, cool. I think we understand the product, man. When's it coming out?
When's this video coming out?
We're aiming for the 22nd.
So let's release the product then.
Okay, nice one, Carl.
Cool. What is up, guys? Carl here. Today we're talking year 2.
Let's do Mr. Who's the Boss. Record, drop.
It's cringe. Call me when it's phone 2.
I've just switched open to work.
Another thing is, here she said, when you're engaged. How was it? How was that? Good?
Kind of terrible, right? It's my phobia, you know?
So we've known each other for like what? 7, 8, 20, carry the 3, 8 years.
Yeah.
I got to know you when you were still at OnePlus. I was most excited about how you engaged with the community at OnePlus. And then when you called me and told me that you're starting your own thing, I was most excited about your perspective on technology.
If we rewind the time back to when we were fundraising for the first time, I was really anxious. Like, you were one of the first people to take a chance on us.
I've never said this. On that call, you said to me, like, I have to be straightforward with you. You know, we could fail. And I was like, I understand, Carl, but I was excited. And I was excited to be a part of it. I invested because I believe in you and I believe in the vision. And I think it's exciting, but also I did invest with, you know, real money. How's nothing doing?
You know, we're in a very challenging space, but I think things have been going pretty well recently. We're almost at 2 million devices shipped. That's gonna be a really nice milestone. Recently, we won a lot of awards for our products. Our media reviews are getting better and better. Our teams are getting better and stronger, especially engineering. So that means we're gonna be able to do a lot more cool stuff on the product.
That's good, right?
It's very good.
Okay, okay. Roller coasters aside, the reason why you're in New York City right now is because Phone 2 is coming out.
Yes.
Can I see it?
Of course. Here it is.
Okay, similar design language.
We don't want to change the design for every generation so you don't recognize it. We want to build icons, products that you can recognize from 10 meters away.
Why does it feel so good? What am I?
We made the back curved, so the glass here has a subtle curve.
How much of Nothing's emphasis when building a product like this is hardware versus software?
I think the magic happens in the intersection between hardware and software. With the Phone 1, we focused a lot on the hardware design, and software was only the basics. How do you make the battery life okay? How do you make the system stable? This year, because we have a lot more resources in our engineering team, we can do a lot more on the software side as well.
This feels expensive, Carl. Are the materials the same? Is there any plastic?
Everything you touch is either metal or glass. So
Okay.
it's aluminum, 100% recycled, and the front and the back is Gorilla Glass, so it's scratch resistant.
And the camera module is black. I like that contrast.
Oh yeah, and the color is different, right? So we had a darker version for the Phone 1, now it's kind of gray to accentuate the glyphs further.
So if, like, my parents are buying me a phone, I can't get the $1,500 iPhone. What's your pitch? Like, why the Nothing Phone 2?
I mean, the industry has gotten really boring for me.
Agreed.
I used to watch all the Apple keynotes, even if it meant staying up really late. In the last 5 years, it's gotten very iterative. They're not really gonna push the envelope, so we thought, you know, if we don't do this, probably nobody else will. We're trying to kind of pick up where innovation left off. We're trying to make the industry more fun again. This is our second step along the way. So if you want to support a small team with big ambitions and doing things differently, I think this is the phone to get.
So let me push back on that. At the end of the day, all I care about is how good is this thing in my pocket. This thing feels pretty great.
I mean,
but
that's kind of like table stakes, right? So a phone needs to be really solid, no matter if it comes to the camera or the charging or the battery life or how smooth the system is. Like, we have to have that unlocked first before talking about anything else, like the glyph interface or that we want to bring
so
innovation.
you see it as a
back.
given. Like, this is the hardware, the phone, the experience is that good. It meets that standard.
It does. I mean, our team has decades of experience in this industry, so this is not new to us. What's new is that we're bringing innovation back to our industry.
And then colors. This like slate gray is sexy, and then white.
Yeah, we got the white, the really iconic color.
Do you have it?
Yeah, here it is. So this is the phone too. I mean, we made the glyph interface a lot more functional. Hopefully people are gonna really enjoy using it, and from a performance perspective, we upgraded all the internals. So the CPU, the processor, the camera, it's all much faster than before, much better than before.
Is it on a level with like today's flagships?
I think it can stand head to head with all the flagships out there.
Does this still have the bent screen to maintain the same bezel?
So it is a flexible OLED, but we made the bezels on all four sides not only equal, but also slimmer than before.
What's your passcode, man?
This one is 0000.
You know, there are hackers out there. Well, congrats, and congrats to the whole team. This thing is a triumph. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you.
And I know it was a lot of work, and I know I was like giving you a hard time with the roller coaster, but you know, they say the reward for good work is more work. So if this thing is as successful as I hope it is, then next year you'll be even less fun. And I'll do my best to put you in a more compromised position and make you smile.
Uh-oh. So this phone is launching soon, and I need to shoot a keynote. I was
Okay.
thinking maybe you can teach me how to vlog.
Yeah, I can teach you how to. I can teach you how to vlog.
Cool.
The most important thing is to hold the camera above eye line. I got an idea here. Hold this. All right, get them on this side of you.
Okay.
And you gotta get stronger. 30 curls per set, 8 to 10 sets. Effortlessly hold up this camera. That's kind of the gist.
Cool, thank you. I think I got it.
Really?
Yeah, thanks.
That's it, huh?
Hold it up. Phone 2. It's been a busy year, but we think we're ready. We still remember when tech used to be fun and exciting. Every year there will be groundbreaking new innovations on the market, but sadly that's not the case anymore. And we understand, if you're a big player with a big market share, you can sustain yourself by creating similar products every single year. But where does that leave the consumer? This stone represents the weight of market share, forcing creative output. So the system is rigged. You have your creative inputs, you have your dreams to create new products and new features, but the system is set up that no matter how you play the game, you always end up creating the same products every single year. And this isn't the tech industry that I remember. I remember it being exciting and limitless. And I hear what you're saying. Nothing only makes smartphones and headphones. But it's an important step in the right direction in re-energizing our industry. We believe there needs to be someone who isn't everything for everyone to inject fun and excitement back into tech. And that's where we come in. Fortunately for Nothing, we can take risks. We're smaller and not locked into the same machine as the bigger players are. That means innovating again. That means designing products that are beautiful and look different from everything else out there. And that means paying attention to the smallest details so we can make everything as perfect as possible. Phone 2 is a smartphone that's going to make the tech world excited about smartphones again. So why can we do this? Why do we feel so confident? In 2021, we launched our first product, the Ear 1, and told the world about our ambitions. Ear 1 showed our approach to transparent design and put us on the map as a design-forward tech company. In 2022, we integrated hardware and software and launched Phone 1. It received a few awards and great feedback from many reviewers. This was another step in our mission to make tech fun again. Which brings us to now, 2023. This is our biggest step yet with the Phone 2. With a bigger team, stronger supply chain, and more experience, we made the glyph interface more useful. We focused a lot more on our software, improved our camera, along with a big performance upgrade. We're also aware that there's a lot of demand for Nothing products in the US, so we're also excited to announce that the Phone 2 will be officially made available in the US. Okay, enough of that. Let me tell you about the Phone 2, starting with design. Back to London.
Hey, Carl.
Hey, how's it going?
All right, thanks, you. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
What are you up to?
Just shooting a vlog.
Okay.
So what's new over here?
This one is a side project we're working on for the store.
It's very soft.
Pretty weird, that one.
Oh, are you using the timer?
Oh yeah, I just set it to 25.
Where's Chris? Is he in the sound room? Hey, Chris. I was doing a vlog.
How's it going? What are you working on?
The next phone.
Why don't we walk through our audience the process on how we got to the final design?
Sure.
No, go for it.
All right, so let's talk about the Phone 2 design. I'm here in London in our design studio with our design director, Adam. Why are some products more iconic than others, and what are we trying to do when it comes to building these icons?
We work really hard on how to create something that stands apart from everyone else. Where do we want to be in 5 years or 10 years? Often that can really help us to take the steps towards that vision.
Does the dream change over time?
Yeah, I think it does. There might be things in the world that change. There might be technology that changes. And then what we've got to balance with that is we don't ever want to be predictable, because we definitely want to surprise people and surprise ourselves.
Earlier we talked about the Phone 2 design, and I've heard you describe it as like a high resolution version of the Phone 1. What do you mean by that?
It's taking everything up a level across everything, you know, the OS, the glyph interface, the materials, the design, the textures, functionally as well. The display, the camera, how snappy it is, the processor, all these things. It's also thinking about a level of softness that we've kind of brought to it in a number of ways.
I know we also did a lot of work on the glyphs, so maybe we can tell our audience about that.
There's more glyphs, first of all, so that gives us more opportunity to be more expressive. But secondly, we also have more control, which means that we can start offering up new functions.
I've seen a lot of comments online saying that a Phone 1 was just a good phone with disco lights on the back. Would you agree to that, and would you say the Phone 2 is different?
I wouldn't agree to that. With things like the glyphs, we're asking people to believe in something different a little bit. We see that the future might be a little bit different. So for us, we think that an experience that is memorable and does something for you is worth it, and that's not a gimmick.
But I think some of those online comments were not entirely unfair. We knew our roadmap, we knew where we wanted to take the glyph interface, but by the time we launched the Phone 1, there wasn't a ton of features. But luckily, over the past year, our engineering team has gotten so much stronger, and now for the Phone 2, there's a lot more utility and functionality behind the glyph interface. So, as an example, if there's an important app that you really care about, this light will always be on. Or utilizing this section of the glyph for a countdown timer, app-by-app notifications, a glyph composer. Personally, the one that I'm the most excited about is, when you're calling an Uber, just to be able to use this glyph to see how close or far away the driver is from you without always checking your phone.
For sure, because the problem is when you turn your phone over to check the Uber, then you see something else. You've got an email, and then something else, and you're sucked in before you know it. So this layer is the top surface notifications to just stop you getting sucked in.
Give people kind of the ease of mind that what's important to them can still be visible, but also enable them to be more present in life. Yeah, and these are just some of the features that are coming out at launch, and we have more ideas that we hope to build over time. So we talked about the glyph interface. Why don't we cover the rest of the external design?
We've got this kind of really nice new display. We've still got a completely uniform border when you've got a kind of bigger chin on the bottom. It just doesn't look right. We've moved the front-facing camera to the center, so that's nice and symmetrical. On the back, we've got the 3D glass, which makes it feel nice and thin. We have these new camera surrounds. Because we have our new camera, we wanted to kind of highlight that. So we have these black bezels, which looks really pro.
So a lot of people whom I've shown the product to tell me it feels really nice. Feels more expensive than before. What would you say is the reason to that?
I guess there's probably a few things. There's the 3D glass and the way that joins the metal mid-frame. It kind of feels quite special. It's got a nice tactile thing, along then with the software, along with the glyphs that are enhanced. Even this dark grey and the way the colours are balanced to get enough depth but not too much contrast. Many contributing factors.
To play devil's advocate, the Phone 2 does look a bit similar to the Phone 1. What would you say to that?
There's always this balance between giving some continuity and improving what you've done before and building on it, and then doing something completely new. And as a company, we're not short of ideas. We actually could do a completely different phone this time, we could do a completely different one next time.
In a way, it's even easier to keep doing new things.
Really, we're new. We've done one phone, we've done some earbuds, we've made a big splash. If we change too quickly, we may start to blend in. You almost start to build an icon, you start to build a mythology, and you start to build something that customers connect with, just like we do with the brands that we love and the companies that we love.
We gotta build really, really beautiful products, but we need to really have solid foundations. Okay, I think I'm happy. I think that's all for me.
Cool.
All right. Can I have your mic?
Very welcome. Yeah, sure. What are you doing now?
I got a flight to catch. So earlier in this video, you also seen the phone 2, but that wasn't the final version. This is the final version. So it's really exciting to see this for the first time. I don't think you're gonna be able to see any difference on camera, but yeah, if you hold it for yourself, you can see some small differences. It's great to finally feel this in your hands. So this is one of our production sites. We have another one in Chennai in India. In London, we spoke to Adam about design, but let's dive a little bit deeper. We knew that we had created an icon with the Phone 1. So for the Phone 2, it was important for us to develop that design story further. The Phone 2 has been all about refinement. Visually, we've evolved the look. With higher resolution textures and upgraded geometry and more consistent coloring, this feels way more refined than the Phone 1. It took over 50 prototypes to get what we believe to be perfect. In fact, this is prototype number 54. When I held this for the first time, I knew that we made a worthy successor to the Phone 1. It doesn't just look more premium, more importantly, it feels more premium in the hand. With a slimmer mid-frame and a rounded pillow glass back, the phone just feels way more ergonomic and satisfying to hold. As you can see, we kept the same symmetrical bezels as on the Phone 1, but we made them even slimmer. We've also moved the selfie camera from the side to the middle to give you that satisfying and symmetrical look. The Phone 2 display is way more advanced. With LTPO technology, it can automatically change its refresh rate from 1 Hz to 120 Hz, depending on the scenario. So for instance, on our always-on display, it runs at 1 Hz, which is super power efficient. And speaking about power, we've further reduced the power consumption of the display by 30% by switching to a new and more advanced IC with smaller transistors. Finally, this upgraded display features better consistency, color reproduction, and motion in low light. This is a flagship display in its true sense. Let's talk about performance. So the processor plays a big role here. For the Phone 2, we added the best-in-class and proven Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1, upgrading from a 7 series processor on the Phone 1. Overall performance has improved by 80% and app opening speeds are twice as fast as before. We've also increased the battery capacity by 200 milliamp hours and made the software more efficient. It's hard to put a fixed number on something like battery life because we all use our phones differently, but personally I get about 40% more compared to the Phone 1. So here is where we test and install the camera. I've been living with the Phone 2 for the last couple of months, and I can confidently say that this camera can go up against any flagship out there. Smartphone cameras have gotten really good in the last couple of years, and when the light conditions are great, anybody can take a good photo. However, it gets more complicated in edge cases. And usually there's only 2 ways to go, hardware and software. When it comes to hardware, it's all about increasing the sensor size or the size of the lens so you can capture more light. However, these decisions come with trade-offs because you need to change your design. Maybe your design has to be bigger or thicker, and these are compromises we have to think really carefully about. On the front is our biggest sensor upgrade. We now have the 32 megapixel Sony IMX615, double the megapixel count, and a 30% larger sensor size than on the Phone 1. And on the back, we've upgraded the 50 megapixel main sensor to Sony IMX890. The main advantage for this new sensor is that it's faster and can deliver up to 4,000 times more data to the ISP. Or you can focus on the software, tuning and computational photography. We believe in doing both, but as a tech company, we believe we should focus more on the software side. We focused on 2 key challenging camera scenarios, dynamic range and motion. Say for instance you're on holiday somewhere sunny. Your subject is standing in the shadows, meanwhile the background is quite bright. You take a photo of your subject, it turns out fine, but then you realize that the background is overexposed. The photo becomes useless. Our new advanced HDR allows you to capture a higher dynamic range to solve this. All you have to do is point and shoot. In the background, the Phone 2 is capturing the same scene in 8 frames with different levels of exposure in the raw domain, which results in 3 times more data processed compared to the Phone 1. Advanced HDR selects the best details from each image and then fuses it together for the most true-to-life result. Let's move on to motion. Normally when there's movement in the subject you're capturing, it can result in a blurry photo, which is really frustrating because you don't get to relive that moment again. For this, we've upgraded our motion detecting algorithms to more accurately detect moving subjects so you can get that clear shot every time. These days, people are using their smartphones to capture more and more video, and I'm happy to say that we made similar improvements across the board when it comes to the video capabilities of the Phone 2 as well. Our vision for the smartphone camera is one that's easy to use and can be trusted. And with the Phone 2, we made a big leap forward.
Okay, Carl, so we need you to do like a Casey-style match cut. We're not going to be with you on the other side, so just put your hands up and then just have an awareness of where your hands are, okay?
Oh, so much work. Hey, what's going on?
Welcome back.
Long time no see.
What are you doing? You filming?
Yeah, we're shooting the keynote. What are you working on?
OS 2.
These are headphones. Do you have a few minutes to talk more in depth about the Nothing OS 2.0?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah?
Yeah, let's do that.
If you were to summarize the current state of mobile OS in like one sentence, how would you do that?
Nothing much changed. We still have a very similar structure. We had the first glimpse of the iPhone, right? Like we have company logos on the home screen, page system, grid. It's very linear, and our home screens are becoming cluttered. So we need to figure out how we're going to facilitate all of that, right? This is the first time we actually have injected that Nothing DNA into the OS. But now 2.0 is elevating our design, our brand, design language.
What are the headline features that you're excited about?
Obviously, what the user is going to see first is this bold, monochromatic design, right? We really want the user to be intentional about what they're doing, straightforward, minimal.
Our phone home screen is basically like a canvas for advertising.
Yeah.
Every app has their own colors, their own logo, and we're just like scrolling through a lot of ads every day.
Yeah.
I think stripping back the colors is kind of like removing some of the power from those apps and giving it back to the consumer.
Yeah.
Just looking at this, everything feels quite organized, even in like different form factors.
Yeah, you have this very clean, symmetrical grid. We just took it a step back.
Grids exist already, so what's different?
Take a look at an Android phone. There's so much customization going on. And that's fine. We have the responsibility to design all of these widgets to fit together, right?
While we're on the topic of widgets, what are the ones that you're most proud of?
My personal favorite is the pedometer. It's a very funny way how we did it.
Any other widgets that you want to highlight?
Screen time is pretty interesting. Again, it's done in our fashion. So bringing all of these widgets to OS 2.0 and expanding it is gonna be a major stepping stone in the right direction. Brings functionality, it empowers the user, it's more intentional use, and yeah, we're very, very proud of it.
Sounds very exciting.
It is.
Beyond just having a beautiful and well thought through operating system, the basics just need to really work. App opening speeds, animation speeds, motion design, these things all contribute. But in addition to that, I think a lot of work has to be done on the battery life optimization while not sacrificing performance. So I think we're in a really exciting time in our development. So last year with the Phone 1, we just focused on releasing something clean, stable. With the Phone 2, this is the first time that we're able to introduce some of our own ideas into the OS, but the real test will come when the users actually get the phone.
Yeah, no pressure.
All right. Thanks for this.
What's next?
It's time to ship. Well, that's the Phone 2. In these videos, you always see a couple of people talking about the product, but in reality, there's hundreds of people behind the scenes working together to deliver all these products that we launch. So I wanted to extend a big thank you to the entire Nothing team for coming together on this mission and building this product together. Also, a big thank you to the community for helping us test and perfect the product as we were developing it. And finally, a huge thank you to everybody who believes in Nothing. We're a passionate team with a really exciting roadmap ahead of us. There's a lot to look forward to, but today is all about the Phone 2. I'm confident you're gonna love it, and I can't wait to hear your feedback.
Introducing Phone 2. Meet the Glyph interface, a more thoughtful way to interact with a smartphone, where lights on the back of your device tell you all you need to know. Silence distractions with Flip to Glyph, and cue light-only notifications to stay focused in the moment. With essential Glyph notifications, you'll never miss updates from your favorites. If it's important, we'll light things up and keep you up to date. Stay on track with Glyph Timer. Check charging status with a wiggle. Or play Phone 2 like a 606 and compose your own ringtones live. Phone 2 houses our most powerful camera to date. Upgraded hardware and advanced software deliver a flagship experience that starts with you. The front camera is bigger and better with a 32 megapixel sensor for the sharpest selfies. On the flip side, we've fine-tuned the 50 megapixel dual camera to perfection. Use 2x super res zoom for close-ups that hit the spot, or shoot crystal clear 4K video at 60 frames per second. Detect real-time movement with Motion Capture 2 for still images that are always in focus. And with advanced HDR, capture more detail anytime, anywhere, with a wider dynamic range for true-to-life results. This works hand in hand with night mode, reducing noise for vibrant, after-dark action. Nothing OS 2 has been redesigned with a new purpose, to make interactions with your phone feel more intentional. Say hello to widgets, little windows into apps that bring everything you need to the surface, with multiple views for different levels of information, so you can spend less time digging and more time living. Turn quick settings into widgets for easy access on the go, or add widgets directly to the always-on display for round-the-clock updates. Style icons with the Nothing theme to turn down distractions, or rearrange your home screen to make room for what's important. To support productivity, we've gone big on folders. Organize your apps and customize the covers to suit your daily needs. The power is in your hands. How will you put your stamp on nothing? From hardware to software, Phone 2 is an entirely premium experience. With its gently curved pillared glass back, sleek, thin mid-frame, and higher definition textures, Phone 2 is our proudest design story so far. Powered by the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 chipset, Phone 2 is faster, sharper, and more powerful than ever. The display is now bigger and brighter with 1600 nits peak brightness and LTPO that preserves battery life when you're not on your screen. And with our longest lasting battery yet, reach a full charge in just 55 minutes, with reverse charging to power other tech on the go. Phone 2 is designed to be one of the most sustainable smartphones on the market, starting with its packaging. 100% plastic free with 60% of paper included coming from recycled sources. Beyond the 100% recycled aluminium mid-frame, Phone 2 contains a range of other recycled metals with 80% of plastic parts sustainably sourced. All of this brings us to an 8.6% reduction in carbon footprint compared to Phone 1. And with 3 years of software updates and 4 years of security updates, Phone 2 can go further with you.
Do you want that in the shot or?
No.
Okay, so Carl, we recently announced Phone 2A. Can you tell us a little bit more about it? Kind of why have we also called it 2A? What's that A about?
You know, at Nothing, our vision is to make the best tech products for the new generation of young and creative thinkers. It's people like us who are not satisfied with the status quo of the current tech landscape, are looking for new and fresh ideas. And I think that's worked out really well. Last year we made the Phone 2. It was our first flagship phone. The team really rallied together to make it happen. And as a result, we won a lot of awards. We've also heard from our community that there are different needs when it comes to a smartphone, and that was the inspiration behind the Phone 2a. You know, there's tech-savvy users out there who want the latest and greatest specs, and that's what we're delivering with our flagship line. And what we learned over the past year is that people have really come to love what we stand for in terms of innovation. Our hardware innovation, our hardware design, the user interface with the glyphs, but also our software. Nothing OS has come to be really loved. So how do we fulfill the needs of a different type of consumer while still staying true to who we are in terms of our innovation? So that was basically the idea behind the Phone 2a.
Cool, so what's gonna make Phone 2a stand out from other phones in this category?
When was the last time you heard about a phone that wasn't the top tier from any brand?
I actually don't know.
Do you know why that is? Because they don't care. These companies, they just outsource the entire thing. Usually so they will put a lot of care and energy into the best products, but for the non-flagship phones, they just a lot of times just outsource it. I think a lot of people, when they're making products like this, they're assuming the user has low IQ, so they're putting useless things into the product that make it look good on paper, but actually don't help the user experience. So yes, this seems like it's a very competitive space. There's a lot of products, but actually, if you think about it from a different perspective, there's actually no competition because there's nobody that actually cares about these products. They're only being used for profits and for volume. So by doing what we do best, design, user interface innovation, hardware and software integration, I think we can do a lot better.
Okay, so you said some of these companies put features in that don't really benefit the end users, kind of like pad out the phone. What do you mean?
I mean, have you seen the cameras on some of these phones? They have like a huge blotch on the back, making it look like a really big and advanced camera. But in reality, it's all cosmetics. It's just a piece of plastic. And then when you look inside, the sensors are tiny and kind of useless. I think that's one example. Two, like, you're buying the product, but are you the product or is the product the product? Because when you buy the product and you turn it on, there's a bunch of advertising in the form of when you're in your system, things pop up, or there's a lot of pre-installed apps that you can just download from the Play Store if you wanted to. But they're there because they're just making money on it. A lot of them also look like Christmas trees, like they're in all different types of colors, and they have this kind of cheap sheet material that makes the polycarbonate look like metal, but you know it's not really metal. So we're like, if this is what we're up against, then let's come and shake this market up.
So what are we doing differently then?
We put so much care and love and attention to making sure that every part of the experience is as close to perfect as possible. I can't tell you much more about the product because it hasn't been launched, but I guess people have to stay tuned.
So you've actually gone on record before saying that Phone 1 wasn't sold with the markup. So how can we make this phone cheaper but still deliver the same quality?
Are we saying in this video that it's cheaper? Well, let's put it this way. We're in a very special industry. On one hand, there's all this design and creativity that we need to be super good at. On the other hand, it's a purely financial and supply chain driven industry. And over the last couple of years, we've gained a lot of trust among our suppliers, and we've grown our business to a point where we're getting much better pricing on our products. So it's only natural that we take some of these efficiency gains and pass them on to our consumers.
What's so special about Phone 2a?
It's nothing, we just want to create the best products, irrespective of which product. So our users can always be sure when they buy a Nothing product, it's going to be the best in its class. So with the Phone 2a, I think what's really important is a great performance and a great camera. And that's what the team has been really focused on, whilst not forgetting about what makes us unique, our design innovation and our software.
So speaking of design, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
I could, but I don't think I'm the best person to do so. Why don't you speak with Chris? He led the design on the product.
Makes sense.
Grab this one. Grab this one here. So Chris, welcome to the channel. First time on here, who are you?
I'm Chris, I'm an industrial designer. My main focus is working on the physical aspects of the product.
Chris, you're a bit of an OG, you've been here from the beginning. Can you tell us how things have changed?
I was one of 4 people who pretty much all started at the same time in the design team in London. So yeah, before we joined, there was actually no designers based here. So there was a huge amount, that we had to do.
And Chris, in terms of projects on Nothing, what have you worked on?
Since I've been here, my main focus has been on the phones.
We just come off the back of talking to Carl about the Phone 2a. What's it like working with Carl?
He brings so much experience, and it's really interesting for us to think about how we can design a product like the Phone 2a to appeal to a slightly new audience. Working on Phone 2, it was more about evolving and building on what we had done with Phone 1. This time around with Phone 2a, it was more a case of starting from a blank piece of paper and bringing something very new and fresh to the market. Is there anything that you've kept consistent across Nothing ethos overall with the Phone 2a? We have this idea, a Nothing, which we describe as technical warmth, which is where we're trying to part of all of our phones so far. Are you guys keeping the glyphs? The function that they provide is really important. We definitely didn't want to lose that. But with the overall kind of design of the phone being quite different to Phone 2, yeah, we had to work a little bit to figure out exactly where the glyphs fit in this time. With Phone 1 and Phone 2 being out in the world for a little while, it's really great for us to be able to look at how people are using them and really kind of understand how they fit in with people's lives and use that to kind of inform the new products.
Chris, I know you're mad busy, man. The launch is in a few weeks, so I don't want to stress you out. I'll let you get back to work, but thanks for sharing. Super interesting.
Anytime.
Nice one.
Actually, do you know when it's launching? Because Mark's chasing me.
It's the 5th of March.
Yes. The other thing I was gonna, you got enough. The other thing was when Carl was doing his filming for the Phone 2 keynote, he basically burst in on me, just finished a really heated meeting.
I saw that when you walked in and you were like, I'm still working.
Yeah, if you pause it, you can kind of see my screen and you can see, the engineering team on the other end of the
It's
call.
so funny, because he burst in, he goes, what are you working on? And he was filming.
Yeah, and I said, I'm working on a new phone. And then he asked me whether it was Phone 2, and I said, no, Phone 2's old, which is the worst thing you can say in the keynote for...
That's so funny, yeah.
So they cut that bit, yeah.
Say hello to Phone 2a. Powerfully unique from the inside out. Go further with a phone that gives you the power to do it all whilst using less. Co-engineered with a focus on speed and efficiency, Phone 2a hosts a powerhouse, the MediaTek Dimensity 7200 Pro. Together with our biggest battery to date, Phone 2a lets you multitask to the max for up to 2 days straight, achieving a day's power in less than 20 minutes. Capture life as it's happening with a 2x 50 megapixel rear camera and a flawless 32 megapixel front sensor. Our powerful TrueLens engine uses advanced algorithms to preserve true-to-life details. Take on any lighting with Ultra XDR, where multi-frame technology ensures a perfect display of highlights and shadows. When your subjects can't sit still, motion capture will do the work for you. Or video every moment in stunning 4K with inbuilt stabilization. When the lights go down, night mode kicks in to illuminate and elevate your surroundings. In more ways than one, this is not your average Android. Through a unique identity, Nothing OS delivers a fast and smooth user experience. Do more directly from your lock and home screens. Go bold with color and icons. Personal touches that make sense to you. Discover the Nothing widget library. Little windows into your apps that let you do more from the surface. All it takes is a quick glance or tap. See your content come to life through Phone 2a's flexible AMOLED display. Now brighter and more beautiful than ever, with 120Hz refresh rate for ultra-fast and smooth screen interactions. Meet the Glyph interface, where key information is delivered via customizable light patterns and sounds. Turn up the focus with a central Glyph notification. If it's important, we'll keep a light on. Doubling as a timer, the Glyph interface allows you to stay on track of everything, from the progress of your food delivery to when the camera is about to take the winning shot. A true force of nature. Phone 2a achieves our lowest ever carbon footprint in a smartphone. Powerfully unique. Phone 2a.